If you've got questions, I'll repeat them. Okay, Matt, go ahead.
Can you talk about what is the EPA doing about this?
The question is, what is the EPA doing about this, the Environmental Protection Agency? So EPA was formed in 1969, and they quickly formed a division that studied radio frequency radiation in relation to the environment and public health. By 1995, they had 36 full-time employees. No, wait, that was by the late 80s, there were 36 full-time employees studying the effects of radio frequency radiation on public health and the environment. Starting with George Bush Sr., the staff was decreased. And by 1995, under Clinton, it went to zero. We still have zero staffing at EPA for this issue. Other questions? Sir, yes, sir.
It was an incredible talk. I came in a bit late, but thank you so much. It was really amazing.
Thank you.
I have one concern, and I guess possible one point of disagreement. And just as preface, I live up north of Seattle on Whidbey Island. My kids go to the Waldorf School there. On Whidbey Island, our telecommunications company has free public landline phone booths that work all over the island. I think it's unique in the United States, as far as I'm aware. So that's a good thing. So I just wanted to say that one of the areas, in fact, the main area that I focus my work on is not necessarily electromagnetic radiation frequency effect, but the larger effect of the electronic industry, and particularly the rising robotics, artificial intelligence industry. And so I just wanted to mention that as a somewhat distinct but very interlocked concern that I think there's a fruitful dialogue that should happen between those areas of concern. Another thing about Whidbey is we have an electronic warfare base on the north end of the island. So these jets are putting out a lot of electromagnetic radiation in their practice runs. The point where I might have some, I'm not sure if I disagree or not, but I think that as much as your emphasis on people changing their lifestyle, changing their use of electronics, I don't know about safer electronics, I guess, but certainly reducing electronic use, I think if you are saying that therefore the institutions of state and corporate power, for instance, the mining corporations, do not have to be directly challenged and resisted, there I would disagree. And I think there's a lot of talk, the Apache folks and others here at this conference, that needs to be listened to about the importance of mining resistance and resistance of corporate state power in general. So anyway, that's my question.
It's an excellent question. Let me see if I can repeat it. No, but I want to repeat it for the radio, so that, because we're aiming to record this for alternative radio. So you hear me suggesting that our best shot is with individual households reducing their use of electronics in order to reduce our EMR exposure and our energy use. And you're saying we need to hold the mining industry accountable, we need to hold the telecommunications industry accountable. Okay, I'm going to say, you know, and I feel like, I'm like, whoa, you know, it's like, this is so intense. I'm in touch with lawyers that have gone to the Supreme Court on this issue so many times, and I have been at my own city council so many times, and I get up there and I'm walking around with this kind of information, and then I am not allowed by federal law to speak about, well, I am allowed to speak about the health or environmental effects of radiation, say from a proposed cell tower. I can speak about it, but again, by the Telecom Act in Section 704, if it is believed that a municipality denies a permit based on health or environmental concerns, then the telecom corporation can sue that municipality. If it is believed that a permit is denied because of health or environmental concerns, then the municipality can be sued by the telecom corporation. So our municipalities are under tremendous pressure. And I know people who've been trying for decades, 2 decades, to fight this law. And in fact, what's happened is that the laws have gotten more in favor of the corporations. And so I'm coming from this place of, okay, what's realistic? I absolutely believe that the mining industry and the telecom corporations need to be held accountable, but I'm not seeing any action there. I am seeing that the supporters, the funders of these industries are people like you and me, the subscribers to these services. And so if we begin to hold ourselves accountable, for me, that's a place to start. And the only success stories that I know of right now, or I should say most of the success stories I know of, I don't know if you heard that part, but they're with families who have children who are banging their heads against walls, or otherwise having really intense meltdowns, and they're so desperate that they will try starting by eliminating their Wi-Fi, and then they get results almost immediately. So if there's a groundswell of activity like that, that's an open window for me. So that's where I'm coming from. And just in response to what you were saying also about Whidbey Island having free pay phones available, that's really interesting for me. I was in the airport yesterday, in the Denver airport. There were free, you could make long distance calls wherever you want from pay phones there. But I would want to know, like, what's the grounding situation? Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you very much. Yeah, and so it's interesting that it's available and free, and is it being run by a satellite system, which is really bad? I mean, all those questions, we don't know the answer. We don't know about the EMR emissions or the grounding and all that stuff. Yes, ma'am.
I just would like to get that website repeated that you mentioned,
EMRPI, for EMR Policy Institute. And I should say I am affiliated with EMRPI. Yeah, okay. Sir.
Yes, I wanted to mention instead of CFLs, you have LEDs. I've been using them on my bicycle for years, and you can put them.
Okay.
They go for 30 years, and I think they're very safe. Isn't that right?
You're referring to my book. So in the book, I say that LEDs are better than CFLs. And this has become a really hot topic. I'm working now on a paper about lighting. Okay, and basically lights, CFLs and LEDs are designed for DC. And then they need an electronic ballast, which is an inverter, to access the AC. So I'm now in touch with some engineers who think if we made LEDs with linear power supplies, it wouldn't chop the current. So I'm still back to recommending incandescents when you can, and they are available somehow. Better yet, use battery-powered lighting. And I will say, Eugene, Oregon is very blessed to have the Slewinski family, where I am staying, with all DC lighting, and we're all fine. Yeah. There are people, if you should talk with Abby and yeah, keen about lighting. They know better than anybody. Ma'am?
I just want to clarify, linear power systems, you're referring to a pure DC system?
No. Okay, so a power supply. Do you guys remember if you had a printer or computer or something, and there would be a black box at the end of the cord? Like, you know, when you plug it into the wall, there would be a black box near the out, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the cord when you plugged it in. Sometimes it would be a little wall wart thing. Okay, that's a power supply. And so most electronics are designed for DC. Then they go through an inverter that makes the AC available to them. I don't understand the engineering of it, but that chops the current. It's called a power supply. Inside of a cell phone or a DVD player or whatever, they're so small and light now that you don't see them. That's how we've advanced in our technology. They're invisible and lighter. You understand? Sir, yeah.
Well, the wall warts and the transformers, they're mainly used for converting AC to DC.
Okay, thank you.
So that you can power most devices around.
Okay. So I see, they convert the AC from the outlet to DC.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay. Kindergartner here. Ma'am.
I'm wondering if you can give me a little bit of triage advice. My daughter is a teacher, and she, for several reasons, found it difficult to use a classroom. So she's just been hired to be an online teacher, which means she's going to be sitting in front of a computer all day long. And I need to somehow get her to, and it will be a laptop, you know, with Wi-Fi and everything. I need to give her some kind of advice, because she's very concerned, but does not have the ability to, not the ability, but, you know, time-wise, et cetera, to figure these things out.
What grade is she teaching?
She's a special ed teacher, which is kind of weird, you know,
Yeah.
online.
This is becoming our normal.
Right.
So to repeat the question, your daughter teaches special ed, and she's now going to be teaching special ed online with a computer, a laptop all the time, and you're concerned about her exposure. What can we do? So you're at step one. I don't know if she is. If step one is admitting we've got a problem, you're there. We don't know if she's there. I have an essay on my website called Calming Behavior in Children with Autism and ADHD. It's 10 pages long, and it describes this pediatrician's protocol and the stories of lots of families who had wonderful results from turning their Wi-Fi off at night and keeping their children far from wireless tech. So that's, you know, if step two is getting informed, that can take her to step two. I also recommend Dr. Victoria Dunkley's book, Reset Your Child's Brain. And she has studies that show children test better on paper than with a screen. And then she's got hundreds of families that have tried this electronic fast. And I'm telling you, children with psychotic behavior and autism and all kinds of, you know, supposedly the behavior looks autistic, it clears up completely in many cases with a 3-week fast. So if she can begin to get informed, and then, yeah.
I think she already is at that point, because she blames most of what she sees in the classroom, in the real classroom, not the virtual classroom, as coming from video games.
Right.
So she's already at that point.
Okay.
My concern is for her sitting in front of
Yeah.
us.
Okay, so it's got to be wired.
And how do you do that with a laptop?
Okay, then you find, is she in Eugene? Okay, you talk with this man before you go. This is a national treasure in Eugene, Joaquin Slewinski. Okay, and he's a consultant who can help you with your own home and your own situations.
So turning off the Wi-Fi at night is one.
That's a great start.
Okay.
But let me also say that really the question that your daughter faces is dealing with the school system or with her employer. And yeah, that's where challenges begin, you know. And so, and I'll say Dr. Dunkley has really good suggestions on that. And there are school systems around the country, like in Maryland, that are trying to get Wi-Fi out of the schools. And you can, if you sign onto my mailing list, I should make sure you guys give me, I don't know if there's a page there, but sir who's about to leave, if you want to get on my mailing list, just make sure I have your email address. On the, I think, Joaquin, is there paper on there? Let me have, yeah, because whenever school systems, for example, enact safer policies around telecommunications, I post that kind of stuff. So that's a resource. Yeah. Okay, you and then you.
I've had a discussion with friends about the idea of, to help all of us stop using as much, using our environment up, if you will, that we band together and take an attitude kind of like we took it in World War II, that we can all do this together.
Yeah.
Because the problem seems to me, first of all, I and most everybody are ignorant about all the
Everything I've just said, right, yeah.
But we're also ignorant about plastic usage and,
Here's the problem. I love the idea. I love the idea of what were they called, victory gardens that we had in World War II. But there's a major difference. At the time, most people believed in that war, and they were willing to sacrifice their children and so much more for the war effort. You go find me somebody who's going to, you know, give up their electronic device, or even like people are saying this is too radical to turn the Wi-Fi off at night. You know, it's like, so yeah, we've got problems. But I love the idea. We just have to. It has to be something that we're all in agreement about. Ma'am.
Thank you. There are dark sky communities in the Southwest, like Arizona, for people who are astronomers. Are there any EMR-free, EMF-free communities cropping up that people can buy into, and that the agreement would be to reduce EMR?
Okay, so you're talking about, like in Green Bank, West Virginia is another one where there's an observatory that since the 1950s, Congress has prevented radio frequency radiation from interfering with the observatory. I know people who live there, and I know a lot of people who visited there, and the radiation is so bad. I think probably it's from the grounding in the, you know, with the electrical system or something like that, but basically the answer is no. I don't know of a place. And now with Google and Apple, and there are probably a dozen corporations that are trying to blanket the whole Earth in Wi-Fi with satellites and balloons. I think they're going for 98% of coverage. So I don't know of a place. Yeah, Joaquin.
If you picked up one of these, right? If you email us about this community, then we're starting a movement here.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. So I know individual groups that are trying to find a place, and there are so many layers to the kinds of EMR you want to protect yourself from. And, you know, but anyway, we're all probably headed for blanketing the whole Earth in Wi-Fi. And anyway, yeah. thank you all so much. And, sir, yes,
Can I just make a quick announcement?
please.
So if anybody's interested in the tabling section, I don't know if you have a table or not, but in the tabling section, the first one after the registration check-in on your right is from our group, which is Alliance to Resist Robotic Warfare in Society, ARROS. And so if anybody is interested in kind of the connections there with the electronics
Thank you.
complex, there's some articles in the back there too. So I just want to say thank you very much.
And I want to say, I don't know any, like, I'm really glad you said that, you know, and brought in the whole military. All of this stuff was developed for military. And then, you know, the public was just like, ooh, cool, we love it too. But I don't know anything about it. I mean, it's like, and, you know, there's so, yes, every person has something to contribute. Thank you all again.
Thank you.